Hi, everybody. Um, Happy Thanksgiving week. I'm so happy to be here with you guys. This is the Awakening to Your Story YouTube page. I used to like to call it the Awakening to Your Story TV. Uh, I still kind of do, actually. I am Alicia Hartzell, and I want to talk to you today about gratitude, appreciation, optimism, and making more room in your life to feel good. We are going to go over three practices today that help foster optimism and help to make more room in your life for you to feel good. And I want to start with gratitude, having a practice of gratitude. So that's the first practice. Now, having a practice of gratitude, I know sounds easy. It sounds simple. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like gratitude. I'm grateful all the time. I'm grateful all the time. Well, the reality is that if you create a practice, which means that you do it daily, it's a ritual, right? A practice or a ritual for yourself. What you're doing is you're setting up a pattern of thinking and a habit for you to step into that place of gratitude. Now, the interesting thing that I want to tell you about is that optimism is actually a learned neurological function. And gratitude is one of the easiest steps into optimism. So, your prefrontal cortex washes your brain with this beautiful place of possibility. And your hindbrain or your amygdala is the fight or flight, right? It's the I have to protect myself. It's wrong. This is happening. It's a chattery. Um, I I like to think of it as that sense of fear, that fear-driven place. I've talked about for a long time that all your thoughts either come from a place of love or a place of fear, and that's your prefrontal cortex or your amygdala. I know it's interesting to think about the dynamic parts of your brain, but I think it really helps you understand the power of creating a practice of gratitude because it really sets your brain into motion to look for things that you're grateful for throughout the day. Now, when you think about what you're grateful for and you create a practice around it, that means you're showing up for gratitude every day. Now, you can do this by yourself. You can write in a journal. You can create an audio. You can just think of them in the shower every morning when you're getting ready. Whatever you do, you show up in the same place every day, or you try to. You can also do it with a friend. I have a beautiful gratitude practice where we send each other audio recordings every morning telling what we're grateful for, what we've been grateful for in the past, what we're grateful for in the present, and what we're grateful for looking forward in the future. Now, there's no wrong way to show up and have a gratitude practice. So just jump in, see what you come up with, and try to look for things you can be grateful for throughout your day so that you can reflect on those things in that practice. Now, one thing that I will say when you say, I'm grateful for, and then you kind of leave it at that as a statement that you're writing out or that you're thinking, it's great. It's good. It's a perfect place to start. But if you can take it deeper, and really allow yourself to think about how you feel about it and to think about what about that thing makes that gratitude ignite in you and then elaborate on it in that from that deeper place, then you turn that statement into an experience. And that's really where your brain gets washed over with all those happy thoughts and feelings and actually chemical rushes over your brain that helps you stay in that positive state of mind. So I'll give you an example. Yesterday I was so grateful that I got to sleep in, right? I that was one of the things that I was grateful for. I'm so grateful I got to sleep in. I didn't have to set an alarm. It was amazing. But if I want to go deeper, I can go, you know, I'm really grateful I got to sleep in. I got to be so cozy. My alarm didn't go off. I let my mind just wake up. My puppy woke me up. It was just so cozy and so magical. And feeling my feet in the covers and being surrounded by my pillows and being able to look out the window and not have to push forward to do anything, but just be in that present moment felt so decadent, right? All of a sudden, that I'm grateful that I got to sleep in turns into an experience. And those are the things that you really want to focus on, the experience of gratitude, right? Okay, so that's the gratitude practice, number one. Number two is a practice of, let me look at my notes. Positive cellular memories. So, having a practice of positive cellular memories means that you are taking time to really celebrate and cultivate your happy moments so that you can savor them and actually utilize them later down the road. Now, let me first say what a positive cellular memory is. A positive cellular memory is a memory where you feel that positivity down to every cell of your being. I know you've had them, whether it's sitting out by an ocean, laughing so hard with a friend, having something amazing happen to you where you just can't help but like feel the joy oozing out of you, right? Those are positive cellular memories, and they're valuable because that cellular experience of positivity can be used later. You can savor it later. You can actually plug right into the love thoughts from that memory. So if you're feeling like you're in a place where you're a little bit down or you're not quite right, you can actually pull it out of your back pocket and go, "Oh, let me plug into a moment that felt good. Let me go into my positive cellular memory bank and plug right in and get taken back to that place." Now, creating a practice of positive cellular memories means that you are looking for them. You are looking for those powerful, happy moments in your life. And then you're creating a bank of them, whether you write them down. I have a place in my phone, like a folder in my images, where I put all my really happy images into that folder so I can scroll through them. You can also just write about them. If you're a writer, write about them. I'm a visual learner, so I actually have a book filled with them. And I'll give you an example in a second. But the really powerful thing about this practice is, again, it's setting your mind to look and savor those really, really happy moments. And then you also have a tool for when you're not at that necessarily as happy place within yourself. You have a tool that you can go back and reflect and look on, right? So I have so many positive cellular memories because I've been doing this for a really long time. If you've taken any of my classes, this is one of my very favorite exercises that we do. And one of my very first positive cellular memories that I gathered up was the first time I held my niece. And it was such a deep place of magic and joy for me. I had a niece that my best friend had, and I had amazing moments of joy with her that became positive cellular memories. But there was a tangible chemical shift when I held my niece for the first time. And I'm actually going to share this is so I just like I've shared this in my classes and stuff. Like these are just, there's no wrong way to do it. So just start gathering them. The simple way is to just write stuff in your phone or keep just a notebook sitting by your bed at night and just go through your day. What was so exciting about my day? And then if you feel even more creative, then, get a notebook and just start putting it down. Let your heart just expand into the place. I will say that the amazing thing about having it in black and white and like a photo, I'm a visual person, remember, so I like the photo, is that when you're in that lowered place, that lower vibration place where you're a little bit sad or you're angry or you're frustrated or whatever it is, this really helps you unplug from that place and plug right back into that place of love and joy and possibility. So I could just say, remember, we're going to go deeper, just like we did in the practice number 1 of gratitude. In the positive cellular memories, you want to go deeper if you can. I could just say, holding my niece for the first time was a miraculous experience. That's enough. Like, right? It could just be that. But this is what I wrote instead. I'm connected. This is one of my most favorite positive cellular memories. Holding Bailey for the very first time. She was so small and perfect, but she evoked such big and vast love. She made me an auntie, and it's a role to this day that I still call my favorite. It's as if looking at her, I could see into a portal of overwhelming love. The joy came from the deepest place within my heart, and it just overflowed. I knew that I would love her without condition forever. I would cheer her on and be her biggest fan no matter what. Looking into her sweet little face, it all made sense. Life, this lineage of love, pain, joy, it all fit together perfectly somehow. Okay, so do you see how that shifted from a statement into an experience, right? These are the things in your practice that you want to do. It's fine if you want to stay at that statement level. It's fine. It's not a big deal. But if you can take the little bit of time to shift down deeper into your heart space and make it a experience, then you're actually setting yourself up for more optimism, more joy, more room to feel good in your life, no matter what comes up, right? Okay, so that's practice number 2. So we had gratitude, and then we have the positive cellular memories. And the third is another one of my favorites. That's why I gave you all 3. It's divine winks of love, right? So divine winks of love is really stepping into ownership for your connection to source, to the divine, to whatever language you have around that spirituality, like that spiritual place within you, spirituality, or whatever your language is around that space. Having a practice of divine winks of love really offers you a doorway to allow that divine space, whatever you call it, to show up in a tangible way in your life and help you know that you're connected, to help you know that you are not alone, to help you know that it's all working in your favor, right? When you do that, you are absolutely creating a space of optimism. You are absolutely creating a space where you can feel better in your life. You absolutely are moving from that amygdala place of thinking to that prefrontal cortex place of thinking, from that fear place of thinking to that love place of thinking, right? Okay. Creating a practice of plugging into that source energy on a regular basis offers you that doorway, offers you that place of connection. Now, the way that you do this, I want to make sure you have the right language that I wrote in the blog, which after you see the video, you can go to the comments or the description, and I'll place a link to the blog. There's so much more information there too to help you kind of fortify these practices for you. The way that you create this divine link of love practice is simply by picking a symbol and then asking and staying open. Okay. Now, my symbol was not picked for me. I have picked other symbols in my life. But if you follow me on social media, if you know me in person, if you've been here with me in some of these videos, you know that my symbol is the heart. I see them everywhere. And it's fitting. I work with people's emotional hearts. I have written books about dealing with your heart, mapping out your heart, understanding the dynamic um, changes and positions of all the things in your heart. And my last name is Hartzell. When my grandfather was in the hospital, going in and out of consciousness before he died, I was fortunate enough to be with him and my uncle and my grandmother. And while I was there, I started seeing hearts literally everywhere. I'd seen them before. I had been on a journey, a quite beautiful journey, into tapping into that spiritual place within myself, sitting with the Native American Indians, sitting with Sufi masters, going and doing a year long um, meditation journey for myself, um, where I was meditating for like 3 or 4 hours a day. Like, I had a pretty tapped in experience with that spiritual side of things. And I had been seeing hearts in that space. But when my grandfather was going in and out of consciousness, it was as if it was raining hearts. And every time I would see one, I would hear a little whisper. And it was him. I could feel it. Because I was so sad and my heart was so heavy. Here was this person who had loved me unconditionally my whole life, one of the few. Because I had a very messy childhood, and all those love relationships felt like they had a lot of conditions on them. They don't now because I've done so much work, but at the time they did. It was not as clean through my childhood. And he saved us from living on the streets when I was young. He made sure we had a roof over our head and food in the refrigerator and a car to take us to and from places we needed when I was a kid. This was a man who loved me in a way that was undeniable, never questioning. And he was going to leave. And I was just devastated. And every time I would feel that pang of devastation, I would look down and there would be a heart, whether it was on the sidewalk, whether it was in the food that we were cooking, whether it was on, my grandmother had a scab on her hand and I was holding her hand and the scab was in the shape of a heart. It was wild to me. And every time I looked down and saw it, I could hear him say, "Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. The love we have will always be there. You're okay. You're not alone." And after he died, shortly after that time, days after that experience of seeing hearts for days and days and days, he passed, and it exploded, like rained hearts. And I knew that that was a sign and a symbol from him connecting to me, letting me know that I am not alone, that I'm okay, that he's on my side. And it was beautiful, beautiful. And then a year later, when my grandmother passed, it rained hearts again. And I never stopped seeing them. And here's the thing about having a sign or a symbol that you use from that divine space, because your angels and your guides and your ancestors and anything that you believe that is divine, right? They're ready and waiting to communicate with you whenever you're open, right? They're there to help. And so creating a practice of these divine wings of love allow you to open the door, to sit and be ready, and to allow that divine space to really wash over you, and you get to create ownership for that sense of connection. Now you can ask questions. What do I need to do? Am I alone? Am I ready? Am I whatever? And then just sit and stay open. Or if you're sad, just say, "Let me know that it will be okay." And then sit and stay open. You know, Sometimes I see them without even paying attention, without even wanting to be open or realizing I'm open. There they are. Sometimes I am doubting myself. I have a tendency to do that. It's a human thing. But if you're doubting yourself, just say, okay, I'm doubting. I need help. Just help, help. And then all of a sudden, there you go. There they are. And then you know you're not alone. You know that you have help. You know that it's all working in your favor and you have that sense of connection. One time I was visiting with my sister, my uncle with my sister, and we were driving from my uncle's house to my aunt's house, and we were having a conversation, and she said, I'm a little bit jealous that you feel so connected to them. I don't feel that, and I wish I did. And so we started talking about it, and I was like, well, why don't we pick a symbol for you, and I'll do it too for us, and ask specifically, Grandma and Grandpa, show us that you're here, show us that you love us, show us that you know that Allie's connected, so that she can feel it in a tangible way. And we had listened to some podcasts about that very kind of thing. And she's like, okay, yeah, let's do it. And she was like, well, which symbol should we do? Because the symbols that they were talking about were birds and things that were very, prevalent in your everyday life. And now my sister is not like, she needs it to be like more concrete, not something that could or could not be. So she's like, okay, birds won't work, dogs won't work. That none of those easy, simple things are going to work for her. And so we landed on the giraffe. And we were like, okay, I mean, obviously we're driving through, the open roads of California. We're not going to see a giraffe, you know, flying or climbing through, the sidelines of the road, the highway. And she's like, well, we'll see. This is a test. I don't know if it's going to happen. And we get to my aunt's house and she offers us a drink and we go to the refrigerator. And I'm not kidding. She had a huge giraffe magnet on her refrigerator. I mean, it was not even an hour from the time we asked to the first sighting of the giraffe. And still to this day, we share our images of giraffes back and forth in our text messages. So, finding a divine link of love, whatever that may be for you, it could be numbers, it could be symbols, it could be anything. Creating a practice where you utilize this open door connection to that source energy really allows you to create ownership for how truly connected you are to this whole experience that we're having, this thing that's so much bigger than you. And that 100% plugs you into love versus fear. And it gives you that focus of optimism, which helps you feel good in your life, right? Okay, so gratitude. Number 2 is positive cellular memories. And number 3 is divine wings of love. If you can create one or two, I mean, 3, if you can take all 3 of these practices and really set them into play in your life on a daily basis, you're going to have so much more room to feel good. It's going to be undeniable to you. So, I want to make sure that you understand. I'm not asking you not to feel your feelings. I would never ask you to not feel your feelings or suppress any kind of feelings at all. Never, ever, ever. But I will say that you do not have to let negative feelings, feelings of fear, feelings of doubt, feelings of pain rule your life. You do not have to take direction from them. You can utilize them, sit in them as long as you need to. You can use them to help you sort through crap that isn't making you feel good or serving you anymore. But you always have an option to choose a thought that feels better. And with these 3 practices, you have a way to choose those thoughts that feel better. Does that make sense? Okay, now please feel free to let me know what you're grateful for. Let me know what your symbol is or your sign is. Let me know what some of your positive cellular memories are. Tell me about them. Write them in the comments, share them with me. I would love to witness them and get excited about them with you. I am here to help you and to hold you in a place of love. And I just want you to know that I am beyond grateful for you. I'm so happy that you sit close to me at the table of humanity, close enough that we get to interact together. And I want you to know that you are loved and seen and valued just for being you. And I am going to be holding you in that place of love until I get to see you next time. So, have a fabulous holiday, Thanksgiving, and step into that place of optimism as much as you can. Okay, until next time, sending you so much love.